with BOG, which are authorized to conduct investment business for the public, are Hand in Hand Trust Company Inc., Trust Company Guyana Limited, and the Guyana American Merchant Bank.
The thing that needs the most care in the world is the skin of your baby. New Predo Baby. The skin of your baby remains dry with the extra dry green layer of Predo Baby. It keeps the wetness away from your baby's skin with its high absorbance capacity. The flexible side bands of Predo Baby suits up completely the body of your baby. The textile exterior surface provides airflow and protects the skin of your baby day long. The cotton soft texture of Predo Baby gives peace to your baby. Predo Baby, the new diaper of the new generation.
Distributed in Guyana by Saria Manufacturing Inc.
It is now 11 hours 35 on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. It's a bit hot. Leonard is craving the rain. However, let's see how he feels when the rain actually comes. It is very hot outside in Georgetown. I hope it's good at your neck of the woods. However, it is time for Wake Up Guyana with senior journalist of Leonard Gildarie. Senior journalist of Kaieteur News, Mr. Leonard Gildarie. He was eyeing me all the time. I got really nervous. And his co-host, Danielle Singh. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, dear Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith had a very long night, and I think he didn't eat this morning. What he did do is eat out my icicles in the fridge. Somebody was kind enough to bring some icicles. He put it in the fridge, and they left the plastic bag, and there was no presence or no evidence of the icicles. So I'm looking at him, and he's looking very suspicious. A good day to all our wonderful people in Guyana. Lots of energy in myself today. I took a haircut and then realized that I have lots of gray hair. All thanks to the elections 2020. And we have some news to tell you about what our good people and what is elections and how famous we've become, that people are now quoting Guyana's elections. Imagine that we've been made a laughing stock, a mockery, that we could make the front page of a newspaper. I'm going to tell you a little about what Keith Rowley, the incumbent, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, said about Guyanizing the elections in Trinidad. That's not something that I'm very proud about, and that's where we would have gotten. So it is August the 12th, 2020. It's the 11th after the swearing-in of President Irfan Ali. We following very closely, all Guyana following very closely what the new administration is doing with regards to handling a number of top priorities. So before we get right into that, of course, I would want to say a good day to my co-host every single day. She's been with us since it started. In fact, she calls very early in the morning. What are you doing if I don't answer? But I called you. Why didn't you answer? We have work to do. You know. She's very enthusiastic and very willing to be on radio here. Thank you very much, Danielle, and even Kevin. Why is it that people have a problem pronouncing your name? This thing is very simple. It's Danielle. Danielle.
You know, throughout the years, I have had that one problem. So it has reached a point where it really doesn't matter what you call me now. As long as it sounds somewhat similar to my actual name, hey, that's fine by me.
You know the only thing, I think it was Adam Harris or somebody was always taught me, the only thing that you have in life that you carry with you through, it's your name. And when you, in fact, this is how they used to preach to the reporters. You must spell somebody name correctly. If you go to a scene, maybe if you're here by police are known to write people names incorrectly. You go to court, Gildarie name is spelled Girdd. Somebody you see some funny spelling and says, is Jack name spelled like that? And so, we have got to be very careful. It's the only thing that you have carrying with you right through your life. And we got to show the respect, and that is by pronouncing it, by doing it I mean, I've seen so many variations to my name, I've lost count. People call me Greg. On Facebook, I'm a Gregory Gildarie. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that. But
Ah.
some people call me Leonard, some people call me Len. It is what it is. But let's get down right into it. So I'm not too very happy about that Trinidad,
Yeah.
that Kamala asking for a recount is her Guyanizing the Guyana elections, and that scandal, that fiasco. I want to use some other choice words, but not on this platform here, definitely.
I
But
think the
let's,
word disrespectful. Disrespectful.
I won't
should
say
cover it.
disrespectful because those people would call it as they see it. What I'm saying that we should put ourselves in this position, that people could actually use us as examples, what not to do. And that is not something I'm very, very happy about. But a good day to all our beautiful country of ours, right across all 3 counties, all 10 regions in Guyana, and we have 10 township right now. I want to say good day to all our mayors, all the REOs, all the our chairwomen of the regional democratic councils. We want you guys to do your job. We expect you to do your job. So ensure that every day it's a delivery of service. It's something that we will be doing. And I think today we could ask the guys to bring a telephone directory here because we're going to start to, remember we did promise to call a
Yes.
couple of people.
Yes, we
Let
have
us
some
see.
calls to make
Yes,
today.
we are going to prove that customer service is something, and what is it that the poor man in the street or the rich man in the street have to put up with when they call our entities, our telephone companies, our water company, and they want somebody, GPL, big one. If you call in them and you want to have something rectified, what it is that they're going through. I have a issue on the line. When you call NIS, what kind of service are you getting? So let's put these things to the test and let us see. Today is the first day. With all due respect to these people, they have their job to do.
Yeah, and
We
we have
have our
ours.
job to do, and we are going to do it. The people are asking for nothing less and nothing more. And I think the newspaper, Mr. Glenn Lal, how you doing, sir? A good day to you, and thank you for allowing us this platform. I'm begging you to give me a raise as soon as possible. I'm just kidding here. But at the end of the day, sir, the people of Guyana, they thank you for giving me time off away from the actual newsroom to come up here. But nevertheless, they asked me to go down there and I still got to do my work. But I really enjoy this. But it is what it is. 12, I saw a story this morning that has me a little upset. It came out from the police. 12 Brazilians were arrested. They came illegally into the country and they were arrested for being here. And they are remanded to the prison right now. We could recall going to other places and being illegals there. The problem that I have with the story here, that the court would remand these folks, maybe because they have nowhere else to go and you can't lose them and then they go all over the place again. The problem is we have got to address this influx of persons into this country, maybe have a better system of management. But more so, what is interesting to me is that we have our borders closed and these people come in. Somebody is facilitating. Did we hold those persons? Who brought them down? Were they held in a minibus? Who was driving that minibus? What other investigations were done by the police? If you're bringing them into the country, my big issue with this has not anything to do with immigration or the control of the borders. It has to do with the persons who are endangering our Guyanese people. And if you would have heard, I think it's about 2 nights back, I think it was estimated 1 in 4 Brazilians in the state of Roraima, which is the state closest to Guyana, state of Roraima. That is like the mountain and going on to those areas. They 1 in 4 persons estimated to have COVID. In Brazil, right across the nation, which is second in the world in terms of persons infected, they're creeping up very, very quickly to the United States, which is leading the way. You go to Boa Vista and so on. But indigenous people are hard hit. But I come back to there. For a couple people who were so greedy for a few dollars to endanger people.
Yeah.
Those are the intellectual authors. These are the people who are making some money, bringing the people here. Yes, we're going to take you safely, but they're not realizing the dangers. So I'm not interested in the Brazilians. I'm interested in the intellectual authors, and we have got to be very, very serious about what we want in this country, how we want it, and when people break the laws, like I saw the story yesterday that had me going. 6 to 1 solar panels.
Yeah.
6 to 1 solar panels located at key areas within Georgetown. This is for the traffic lights. You want to hear me very clearly? Let me repeat. We have traffic lights in Guyana to control the flow of traffic. Any of these things, accidents, people lives, people properties, people vehicles are in danger there, or you're going to spend a lot of money. Some call us people, and it has to be somebody who has means of selling it. It's not somebody take down a solar panel and say, let me go sell it because maybe he's a junkie or whatever you want to call them. This is somebody that went to several traffic lights within the city, located at Avenue of the Republic, Main Street, Middle Street, Common Street, Camp Street, Camp and South Road, around those areas there. Took it off. 6 to 5 solar panels. What are we doing? I hope that I think the good thing about it is that we have cameras around the
Yes.
place.
Yeah.
And if you guys are listening to us, Ministry of Public Works, the police force, we expect to see these people in court as early as possible. They would have had to use a vehicle. It was very much planned. I rather suspect based on the release that we saw from Public Works that 6 to 5 is a planned affair, and they took our property and they went with it and they sold it somewhere. I expect to see the people who stole it, and I expect to see the person who bought it because somebody has to buy it.
Yeah.
If you took it, you didn't put it on top of your house. So let us see what happened. These are things that irk me very, very early in the morning, and we got to start calling it out. So in a very short while, we're going to put some calls in. Let's call. I'm going to tell you in a very short. I pass a note to you or something and say where to call. You don't want to give them a heads up, and so we want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me pass a note right now to her, and we are going to call the PR department, and I want you to call that. So by the time Danielle is doing that, let me read you what is happening in our Kaieteur. This is Wake Up Guyana. We're going to wake up a couple of people here today. Wake up Guyana, wake up, wake up. We're going to wake up a couple of people today. Let's start looking at the services that we have in Guyana. And we're starting with a particular company today. Let us see when the people call you, how you address some of the concerns, some of the complaints. I want to tell you, I didn't get a good service. My service is off and I need to fix it. Whether they answer the phone. So we're going to give Raj very quietly the number, and Raj is the culprit today. He's going to be calling. So in the meantime, while that is happening, there's a big story that is emerging with regards to our oil company. And we will be developing it, and we will be telling you a little about it tomorrow in Kaieteur News. But let me just break the story. You would recall that there were issues over our oil contracts and so on. And one of the proposals that came out from some of the experts that Kaieteur News would have been talking to said that, look, you have other permits that you have to give to these oil companies. Yes, we have done a lot of damage by not getting a good, proper deal with the 2016 oil deal with ExxonMobil and its partners. We signed it with ExxonMobil, a big U.S. company, the biggest in the world. And so let us see if we could use the permits as a means of, getting a better deal. We understand that one of the development phase, which is the Payara area, that they have decided to put that on a hold until they could have, I think this was announced last evening. One of the newspapers, I think it's Starbuck News would have reported it, says, and this is what I'm going to say to you, in a key oil sector decision, President Leonard last evening said that his government is lobbying for technical and financial support to have an international oil export review Exxon's Payara project and advise on the way forward. So it looks as if we are on the right track with deciding let's get a better deal. I kind of like these things here. But we go straight into the Kaieteur News front page today. Lots of news here. And it is August the 12th, 2020. This domestic dispute ends in shooting death of Cotton Tree, West Bank, the Berbice man. I would like to see that we get a little more tough on these gun crimes.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be buying a gun. We go to the border areas. We hear people smuggling guns from Brazil, from Suriname. It's easy. I think Brazil manufactures Taurus guns, the Taurus line, and so it's easy to people to buy guns and they put it in a motorcycle. We hear these things. When you see so many people have guns in their hands and maybe they have a round or two, people actually, do you know that people rent guns?
No, I didn't.
They rent guns. If you want to go do a crime, and these are all things that the police know about. You even hear things in the past, police renting guns. They have 2, 3 guns and they're renting it. So they have minibuses, they have guns, all kinds of things happening. And we are not going to think. Well, last night we did hear that thing about Critic. We're going to come to that story in a little while. But what you have here, I think too many people have guns in their hands and we got to get tough about it. We can't give out any, I think a couple of my friends would say, any lagu bagu that comes from the street, give him a gun license. We have to be very strict about it. We also have to pay attention to the people who will be selling gun license. I have a contact somewhere and you pay me $1 million and we're going to give you a gun license. Let us get this nonsense that used to be happening back in the days. This country here has to be run according to the rules and the laws, and everybody got to toe the line. If we want to build a strong country, the regulatory powers, the regulatory bodies, the laws of Guyana, the Constitution of Guyana, the highest law of the land, it all has to work, and we have to deliver it to the people. There's a change in government. We expect nothing else, and I think we are going to be continuing calling for these things. The law of the land. The law of the land is very, very important. No nonsensical excuses worth 55 billion for a Payara permit. And this is a story that is coming from Dr. Jan Mangal, and he is a former presidential advisor who would have parted company with the coalition government. And here's what he had to say, according to a quote. If you want a fair deal and a chance to get back some of the $55 billion left on the Exxon's table, then we have to play hardball. We have to impact the companies of operation, but this takes leadership with vision and courage. And vision and courage being 2 very important words here. So we will continue as usual. Kaieteur News is not deviating from what it's doing. The radio will continue to hold the government of the day and the opposition and whoever other stakeholders and everybody their feet to the fire. It is expected nothing less. We are the fourth estate. Guyanese critics building riddled with bullets. This story seems to be a little, how you say, we need some more details here.
Yes.
But it is extremely shocking that somebody, I spoke to him vaguely for a very short while last night. After it would have happened, he was extremely shaky. And this is a media person, somebody that we work with closely. You don't have to agree to everything that Michael Rodriguez say. But the fact is, when somebody is attacked, it sends a very, very clear message. Somebody would take it, regardless of what you say, somebody would take it so very personal that would come to your house or wherever your kids are staying and put bullets in that place. It is a very serious issue. So we have to be, whenever we see these things, I think there is the ballistics and so on. Somebody, the investigators will have to look into this. We expect to hear some answers. We expect to hear some results of some arrests, because I'm sure everybody got cameras on most person now, and when somebody pull up somewhere, you got to hold somebody. So that's a story we're going to continue to look at. Guyanese critics building riddled with bullets. COVID-19 case jumped to over 600, big one. You guys got to be very, very careful there, man. It's every single day. Expect these figures to go up, and per capita, I think we are among one of the highest in the world. Is that it for the population that we have?
Yes, we are.
Or at least in this part of the region, when people are looking at the cases, and remember, we were not carrying out the number of tests that we should, which would give us a baseline. What we are doing is here and there, we're doing tests based on the kits that we had. So we got to be very careful. Continue to protect yourself. We're not opening. Last evening I decided to go home a little early. I had some work to catch up on. After 8 o'clock, this would have been early.
Yeah.
So I was driving and I saw all the supermarkets closed because I wanted to get some stuff. And lo and behold, guess what?
The bars were opened.
The bars were open. The adults entertainment bar was open too. And there was a lot of cars hiding around the corner. I pay attention to these little things. Where are the authorities? The police know. They know what is going on in their district. And today I didn't see any police on the road. They're not stopping traffic. The hole is still in the middle of the road. Ministry of Public Works, there's some big holes in Diamond there. People are in danger. You need to fix it. And it's not only Diamond. I don't know where else. But before we continue and we go over to my good co-host, I have a couple of headlines here. But I want to ask the big question. I want you to mull on it a little, chew on it a little. Should we, when a new government enters office, who should be getting the jobs? Is it qualified people? Is it people who are loyal to the party? Is it somebody that maybe, what kind of salary is classified as a super salary? I'm seeing a story here and in the newspaper about a person being paid a super salary. But the question today, does an administration that goes in that wants to be comfortable with the people that they have around them, should they give the jobs to people who would have worked with them for a very long time, who they know that maybe not because you don't have the qualification in science make you can fit into a position of management or so. I want to hear you guys. I want to hear the people of Guyana. Tell us a little about some of your thoughts as to who should be getting the jobs, because we've seen a lot of persons, many cases in which persons were given job because they had an affiliation to the party, because they were friends with somebody else or to the coalition or whoever it is. In this case, you don't want the shoes on the other foot. So let us be very, very clear. Let us hear some of your thoughts. I have my thoughts on it, which is I do believe that if Trump loses the election tomorrow morning, I think the political experts, the pundits would have said, Peter Wickham and a couple of others, it's expected that you go in with your own team. When you go in there, you are going to replace them. Do you have the right to put your own people there? I saw Joe Biden would have chosen a woman,
Yes.
somebody who's very capable, but he would have chosen her for a very big reason, which is, I like Danielle. I like the way that she works. She has good work ethics and she's very capable as a person, as a professional. I'm going to take her. So while she might be a prosecutor, an attorney, a lawyer, whoever it is, in the vice president position, she's expected to function as the second most powerful person in the United States of America. And so these are things that we look at when we are making decisions for the furtherance, the development of this country. Let us be logical about it. But let's go quickly into the headline. Ex-magistrates, two of them, right? Lawyer, deputy mayor, businessman dragged to court for breaching COVID-19 regulations. I like Burpees. You know why? And some of these guys here happen to be my friends. These are people I can pick up the phone and call. One of them was a former magistrate that I'm aware of. The other one too. And there's a lawyer. They went to a party, I understand, or they were at a function, and the police came and says, you're breaching COVID, you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And so they arrested them, placed them before the court. So that's an interesting issue. Nobody's above the law.
Exactly.
Of course, these guys are, these folks that were charged, they're innocent until proven guilty. They would have their own say what happened there. Suriname issues. Interesting story here, Danielle. Suriname issues arrest warrant for former finance minister on corruption charges. Now, this is Gilmore Hudrad, I think it is. I hope I got my dots right. Somebody who would have served with Desi Boutsey up to when they lost the elections, and recently, a couple of weeks back, there was a change in government, and apparently while handing over or whatever is the case, they discovered, the new government discovered that several things was wrong. This guy sold a bunch of government properties, and there was some, how the monies went, and so he was wanted on suspicions of fraud, embezzlement, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it is a story that we'd have to follow, but Suriname has issued an arrest warrant, and this is somebody that people up in Borby saw. They swore that they saw the person up in Burby's there, and saw him in the Skelton quarantine area there.
And this was just a couple of weeks ago,
A couple
right?
couple days back,
Couple
just over a
days,
week back.
yeah.
So they've issued, and the story did say that he was spotted in Guyana. I rather presume this is something that would have been discussed with the authorities here. The president of Suriname, Mr. Chan Santoki,
Santoki.
he was here over the weekend. I'm sure they would have asked maybe the security officials here for some help or so. They're not probably going to talk about it. But this is an interesting story. The UN wants answers for the 2016 Exxon deal and the Sarah corruption probes. And so they've issued a statement in the United Nations, and which is on human rights and so on. Ever so often they do it, and they're talking about that Exxon deal. They want to know how what's happening here, what's the deal about this deal, and the Sarah corruption probe. So let me stop right here now. Of course, the question, we want to hear your thoughts, like I did mention a little earlier. I want to hear your thoughts about what is happening, who you believe. If a government goes into the place, do they have the right? What is the norm? What should be the norm? Let us hear some of your thoughts. Send it to us. 62222. Maybe you could read a couple on that. If you're calling us in, it's 2267453. Before we go to the lines, Danielle has a couple of things that I know that she has been doing some research, and of course she want to say. And then we go and make a call to our beloved utility companies to see how they are taking,
We weren't supposed to say who we were calling, remember?
All right, I didn't say. I didn't say. Over to you.
All right, good. So, good morning, everyone, or rather, good afternoon. I need to wake up.
Wake up.
Good afternoon, everybody. I trust that you all are doing fine. Remember those numbers again. You can give us a text on 6222222 or give us a call on 226-7453. We're going to be making some calls ourselves in a few moments. But quickly, let's talk about some things that are happening today and that are going to be happening throughout the remainder of the week. It is International Youth Day. Yes, a day for young people all around the world, and Guyana will be joining 193 countries around the world in celebrating International Youth Day. The theme for that day is youth engagement for global actions. Gildarie, throughout the years, we have been seeing a number of young people taking up leadership positions. Just recently within our government, we have seen a lot of young and vibrant people holding ministerial positions. For example, our very own Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Mr. Charles Ramson Jr. Now, he is a young man, he's vibrant, and he is very eager to lead his ministry. So the whole purpose of celebrating International Youth Day is, encouraging youths to, hey, get up, wake up, let's get moving, let's create a global movement. Young people are the ones now that have to go out and, create policies that will benefit not just them, but benefit their country in general. So that's it for International Youth Day. We've got some updates from the Ministry of Education as well in regards to the cash grants that they would usually...
There is a cash grant? What is that?
Now, when the PPP was in power before, they would have, implemented a $10,000 cash grant for parents with children in school. So let's say if you had 2 kids in school, then you were automatically entitled to $20,000, $10,000 for each child. On their campaign trail, the PPP would have mentioned that, hey, we're going to bring it back, and we're going to up it to $50,000. That was what they would have said throughout their campaign. However, just yesterday, the Minister of Education, she would have mentioned that, hey, we want to resume these cash grants. We want to give it out to people. We know that because of the pandemic, a lot of persons are suffering. However, because of the lack of funds and because of the COVID-19 pandemic, they are unable at the moment to, give a specific date and time when these grants will be issued. However, she gave her assurance that, hey, these grants are coming back and, persons are going to benefit from it, and very, very soon. All right. And in other news, the government of Guyana is preparing for an emergency, or rather they're preparing an emergency budget. Now, this will be introduced later on this month. This is what
This
the
is
president.
in August.
Yes.
And I think yes, I did see a couple of I think was it the Ministry of Housing? They've started the budget
Yes, they
preparation.
started as
I think they
well.
should because a lot of stuff are on hold. The ministries can't pay and things like that.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Now, the budget will be dealing with immediate issues, including the program for the $4.5 billion household relief, the COVID household relief that they have. This will be included as well. Additionally, the president would have mentioned that Parliament is expected to be held within 2 weeks. However, they're still working out, how they're going to facilitate it, taking into consideration COVID-19 and sticking to the guidelines. But we will hear more on that as well. And good news for small businesses. The Bank of Guyana they're currently developing a plan or working on a project that will help to assist small businesses, persons with small businesses that currently have outstanding loans. Because of COVID-19, businesses would have taken a hit, or economy in general would have taken a hit. So the Bank of Guyana is working on, hey, we're going to assist. They're saying, hey, we're going to assist you as best as we can. But of course, we have no definite date. We have no details in regards to this, but we will get them shortly.
Very good. So there you would have had it, Danielle, Singh, and we are going to have Parliament meeting convening within, let's hope before the end of the month. We are on August the 12th today. So we have still a couple of days, maybe 18 days, 19 more days before the end of August. We should do this as quickly as possible so that the people's business could go on. We could have some help. And I believe we should find some money and give it to the people. The reason for that is that there is a big need. There's a very big need, and not only that, every time you spend money in the economy, it helps spins it. Other things, the shops are going to the shops are going to buy from the suppliers. Suppliers are going to do something. Taxes are going to be coming in. So we have to start looking into that. Kevin, I'm going to have to ask you if you could put through that call there.
Yeah.
And let's start putting it to a test. So I have a complaint, and I am going to be complaining right now. So in the meantime, while we have those lines ringing, we are going to tell you that that with regards to our newspaper today, there is that developing story that the government has placed a hold on the granting of the Payara permit, which is one of the big plays. I think it was the phase 3 of the Exxon development. You would recall that they have phase 1 with Horizon 1, that is the FPSO is already there. Another FPSO or the floating platform. It is going to be here probably later this year, I think so. Let us see what happens here. But that's phase 2. And they were looking for phase 3 to be approved so they could start the development on that. And Guyana say, no, wait a minute, we got to be careful. Let's sit and think this. The government of the day is paying very close attention to this oil thing. They should, because there's a lot of pressure for us to get it right. And you don't want to be speeding in to something that maybe if you bring a couple of experts in and let us talk this thing through, we could probably gain a few billions here or there money that we would not be scrambling for $1 million or 500. Imagine we have so much oil and gold in this country, and we begging people for 500,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, 500,000 US dollars. In fact, 100,000 Guyana dollars is a lot of money for me. But imagine $500,000 US is not a lot of money for a country that has 700,000 persons now grappling with pandemic, and you have a problem right now also with economy. So, yes, good afternoon. Yes, we are trying here. Let me tell you what it is. I think I could go ahead and say it. My boys are trying to call GPL. We have a complaint, and it is gone. It is going. We're going to continue, and we're going to tell you. We're putting it at test now. We want to complain about something, and so we call in is it the which lines are you guys calling?
Calling their direct
I
line.
got a problem, man.
We're trying to get their customer call center.
The customer call center. And
And
that's not
us-
working?
That's not working. And the public relations unit as well. We tried calling them. Should we try calling local offices?
Let us call is there a complaints department?
I'm not seeing.
All right, that is it. We're going to continue calling. Let us call the PRO office.
We just tried calling.
You're not even getting the PRO office?
No,
Oh,
no.
interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna try again. Let's try again.
Very good. So we are today for the first time calling some of our people in the office here in the one in the utilities office and see what kind of services being offered to the people of Guyana, whether they have people there or there's something else that you could do. We want to let you know that it's 6222222, and it is that you're on to the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. You could also get us Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So we are calling right now a utility company. We put into the test how it is or what is it that people go through on a daily basis in Guyana trying to get service from our government office.
I got private minibus, right?
No, we apparently we're going to continue to try. While our boys are going to continue to try that. In the meantime, do we have any messages from our people there?
Yes, we've got a few messages coming
Let's hear
through.
it.
We've got a few persons, with some concerns. It says, "Hi, good afternoon. I'm from Lenora. I have a complaint about the Lenora Cottage Hospital. For quite some time, the hospital has been out of insulin and syringes for diabetic patients. Where would the elderly people get money every clinic day to buy insulin?" Now, I know Dr. Frank Anthony, our Minister of Health, he was on room 592 just 2 nights ago. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was on room 592 just 2 nights ago. And he had mentioned that because of the COVID-19 pandemic and because the hospitals were restricting, they were restricting patients from visiting, that would have, in a kind of a way, caused the administrations to not be cognizant of the amount of medication they had for these non-communicable diseases, including which would be diabetes, hypertension, heart diseases, and so forth. Now, he mentioned that there is currently a drug shortage for these medications. So it's not just in Lenora, but we have it all around the country.
And you're right there, Danielle, but people were calling us and complaining about drug shortage, and here you have it out of the horse's mouth. The good minister, the health minister made it very clear that they are aware of what the situation is and they are working to have that rectified. I kind of like this because
Yeah.
if you don't know the problem, you can't fix it. Let us fix it. So they have an idea now. This is not just somebody calling, man, this health center, you don't have it. It's all over. He says they found it, and this is not just COVID. This is the other things that people would be dependent. You don't have money, you're dependent on the hospital or health care. And we have been spending billions of dollars every single year to buy drugs and other things. And so the people are not getting it. Where did the money go to? Did we have the money? If you put it in the budget, what happened? So people were not getting it. So in the meantime, could you tell me how many numbers you called there, sir? They called 2 numbers. We're gonna call 3 more numbers. Let us know which department you call in, and we are calling the Guyana Power and Light Company right now. Power and Light. And do we have anything?
No, we're not.
Nothing.
We're not getting.
So we're gonna
it.
continue calling, and I'm gonna call out the numbers. You guys gotta give me the numbers that we call.
We're calling the 226-2600. They have this number listed on their Facebook page.
What is that number?
In their directory as well.
What is that number?
It is their direct line.
Direct line?
Yeah.
Did it say which department it is or which?
The call center. This is a number for the call
Okay,
center.
good. Okay, so the first name and shame. This is the Guyana Power and Light. If you guys are listening to us, it is time to name and shame our people who are providing crappy service to the people of Guyana, and you won the award for the day. It's 226-2600. Can't get through. Can't get through at all. You guys got to do a little better than that. We also did call 225-1471. What happened
That
there?
is the public relations unit. No answer.
So I think those people
whatsoever.
are on a day off, on vacation, or out of the country. You do so illegally. But whatever it is, so 225-1471 and 226-2600, the Guyana Power and Light Company, need to get their act together and get it very quickly. You are in service to the people of Guyana. You know how to call them and go cut out the lights, but you don't know how to answer your phones.
Yeah, yeah. All
Okay,
right.
so today's day one, right?
Day one. We're gonna make a note of that.
Good. So I give this back to you. Let's continue. We're gonna call another place tomorrow.
Yes,
I'm gonna say
definitely.
place. I'm gonna be very careful. You don't want to give them a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start.
Definitely.
The change that is coming together starts with ourselves. Let us start changing it. We cannot ask for a better Guyana, for Malaysia or Singapore, if we don't start changing ourselves. Stop throwing garbage over your back fence. Stop allowing yourself to mix cement on the streets or throwing your sand in the middle of the road. Dump it in your yard. Do not dump it on the people's road. You keep doing that over and over. Take it into your yard, make a space for that, and mix the cement in your yard, not on my road. I pay taxes for that. If you pay taxes for in your yard, keep it in your yard. So you gotta be
Yeah,
strong. You gotta
seems
be.
logical.
So I mean, I don't know. So all the best if you're now joining us from wherever you are. I see somebody says New Jersey in the house. If you're listening, my good friend Shah Ali in New Jersey, Clifton, New Jersey, there, my friend. I love that area. Tree line streets. Many things happen there. It's a beautiful. And you see cleanliness, you go to some parts of Europe and all over the place. It is our people that is causing this. Let's change our attitude. And so
Yeah.
today, we've changing it. Let's start to change within ourselves. Today, we've started putting our companies that offer services, and this is not only the public companies. We're going to be calling all the companies that do business with the people of Guyana. We want to ensure that you raise the level of your standards, level of your service for the people of Guyana. They deserve so much more. I deserve so much more. So let's take it from there. Brampton, Canada. How you doing, Mr. Shavir, Ali? And of course, Fort Lauderdale, Sohan, Steve, Sharon, a good day to you. Richmond Hill citizens. Mary, Tefina. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So good day to you. Let's go straight into the lines. It's 226-7453. You on to Kaieteur Radio. Let's hear who's on the line here. Good day, caller. You on the air? Yes, good day, caller. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I love to hear your program, and I feel very nice about our president. And I love the way that Kaieteur News has done it, because Kaieteur News is really democracy. So, Mr. Glenn Lal was blasphemed in the PPP time, but he never dismissed the PPP. He always stand up for them. And now is the time to see that Mr. Glenn Lal is supposed to be praised by all Guyanese.
Well, let me put it this way to you. I always remember the old media person, very knowledgeable, would have told us, if you, as a media person and the government of the day, you're friends with them, you're not doing your work. So I think he understands very clearly what his duties are, and myself, we understand what it is. You're not going to be friends with people when you talk the truth. It is what it is. We live with it. But thank you very much for that.
Yes, sir, but what I'm saying, right, that, there were some person would say, man, hell was them, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
But he stand up for democracy. He's a man of heart, he's a man of God. And I think, you and Mr. Yogan, now you got a new friend here. And let me tell you all really work hard, and Mr. Glenn has given that opportunity. And look how many monies people have spent to do a program. And look how many hours, days that you all have this program for at Mr. Glenn Lal expense. It's very great.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Do have a pleasant rest of the day, dear. And so to the Queens Village, New York, Mike Prince. Very nice name there. Mike Prince. How you guys doing there? Danielle, over to you, Danielle. You
All
have a
right.
lot.
Remember, guys, give us a text. You can text us on WhatsApp or, a regular text. The number to text is 6222222. That number again, 6222222. Or give us a call on 226-7453. 226-7453. Remember, we want to hear from you. This program is not just about Gildarie. It's not just about me. It's not just about us talking about the news. We want to hear from you. What's been bothering you? What are some things that that you're hoping that our new government will do? What are some things that you want your community leaders to do, your village leaders to do? We really want to hear from you, so give us a call. Do we have a caller on the line? Caller, good afternoon. This is Wake Up Guyana.
Hi, good afternoon, Kaieteur.
Yes,
Hi,
it
good
is.
afternoon.
Hi, dear. Glad to hear you. On the line? I just want to make a few points.
Could you lower your radio, please? Could you do that for us?
Yes, Gildarie, yes.
Thank you.
During the election campaign, the PPP promised 100 of things. They're in power 9 days or 10 days now, and there are a few things they could have done without they have to spend a cent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hearing they're making an announcement about that. All they're talking about, they got to look at this and look at that.
What are you looking at? What are some of the things that they would have promised that you believe that
They promised them to bring back the used tire.
the used tire?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
They promised they would drop. You and Yoke was talking so much about dropping the gas price. For the past 2 weeks, gas being raised steady. Nobody ain't talking nothing about the things that they promised. And y'all should continue the program and let's talk about what they're going to do and how they're going to perform in. 2 weeks now they're in the government, yes. You only hear what they're going to do, but they ain't talking nothing about the promises they make.
Mm-hmm.
Not one yet. Give the people an encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
Give the people an encouragement who vote you and put you inside here. Let us hear something good. There are so many things that you promise that which you don't have to spend a cent to do.
I hear you.
You can just bring those things and put them on. And like another thing you talk about the streets in them scheme, brother. Accidents will happen all along somebody there inside if you go to the scheme, nobody will come and look at it.
Oh no, there's some growing holes there, and I'm wondering where the authority, like nobody lives in there, nobody sees. I see these
I don't
things.
know, like nobody don't see people live in this place. This that you have a 19th Street. If you walk in night and you fall in a hole, you might dead.
I think I'm familiar with that area there. Yes, it's always been problems.
But we can't press them so much on that. They gotta come around with teeth for that.
Right.
But we can press them for the promises they made.
So you were saying that you want the used tires to come back into Guyana?
Yes, the new tire don't make it from the time you go in a hole, sir. It damaged, it bend. You gotta spend $10,000 again. Let the used tire coming back and let's deal with the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Gas price is not raised worldwide. You and Mahathir was every day program y'all talk about drop the gas price. They drop it one time, within 2 weeks they raise it back right up back again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We can deal with those issues immediately, give us a little relief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, brother, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear sir. Well, obviously these things need discussion. I can't say that Gildarie has a lot of information with regards to that. I can tell you that the price raise is tagged, the tax is tagged to the gas price and the world prices. When the gas prices on the world goes up, they continue to charge the same tax, and this is how we were saddled with it. But I do agree with you. One of the big ways you could pass the savings on to the people is by looking at the taxes that you charge on the price for gas. That's one. Two, what we do to our prices, especially for the older folks, light and water. I mean, this is something that I would really like to see, that we have some kind of subsidy coming back. I wasn't too happy. Of course, I could understand that if you're an elderly person living in a home, that and everybody's burning the electricity, it should not be free for you.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be there has to be conditions as attached how you could benefit from that. It's like the United States. They don't give you any kind of subsidy or help just like that unless you meet the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe that you could go and lie to the authorities, I know people that went and claimed for unemployment benefits, and they found out, and they charge you. And I think some people would have been charged through interest. I can remember a case that Glenn was telling me about. A man would have been driving, I think he was drunk or something. Whatever is it, but he hit a power line and the entire place shut. And so the emergency crews came, but he, I think, died. And there was a cost attached for the repairs. And they put the bill onto the family. The family lost the house.
Wow.
So if it is that you believe you could drive a car drunk, crash into the people traffic lights in Guyana, and this is one thing, the ministries, they need to pay attention. Public properties, government properties, it takes a lot of money. It's taxpayers' dollars. When people crash it, destroy it, like the police, You see them doing all kind of things, going to buy a box food, they come up, they people in the corner, they're talking, they have somebody in the vehicle. When you see these things or you see anything that is extremely um, shocking that should not be, take pictures of it, put it on Facebook, put it on social media, and let us name and shame them. This thing got to stop. This nonsense got to stop. It belongs to the state. You have to care it. It's an employer's own. And the employer is me and you and you and you.
Yeah.
Let's get it very, very clear. So
Yeah.
I did hear that Kaieteur tires and gas. It is a discussion. We are going to raise these questions when they hold the press conferences, and let us see if they could get it. As to whether they should have done it within 1 week, I'm not sure whether that's indeed the case. Question on the table here, which I would have talked about a little while, Danielle and myself, is of course, when you go into office, should you are the positions for people who are qualified? Should they reach across the divide? Should it be people who would have been working hard with the party? And you need trusted people around you. What are some of your thoughts? I'm not bringing any conclusions here, but I would like to hear you, because it's a debate is on the table. 5 years from now, it's going to come back again. Then another 5 years from then, it's going to come back every election time. Should you be fired? Should you not be fired? Should you go home? Should you walk your political appointee? Should you give up the job? Should you hand over your credentials or the properties and walk away, knowing that you were there with the party and not working for the state and the establishment that is there? So we gotta have these conversations very
Yeah.
very seriously, and not come back and we put it across. Oh, you're a political appointee and you're being asked to resign and you don't resign, and if we fire you, it becomes an ethnic issue. At what point in time does it become an ethnic issue? I have issues with that.
Yes.
So I mean, do the right thing, do the ethical thing, leave. You need to leave.
And we would have seen that the chairman of GWI board, he would have resigned yesterday, Raul Lucas.
Yes,
He would have taken the initiative.
I
and
think
he
it's
resigned.
GPL.
GPL, yeah.
And you know what? I've spoken to Mr. Lucas time and again. He is somebody who is very principled in the way that he does things. At least that's the way I see it. I can't talk about how he performed his job,
Yeah.
but I can tell you the way he thinks, and I like that. Those are things that we should follow suit, that they don't have to beg you to resign or send a letter to you. And many people would have been issued letters.
Yes.
I think there's a whole bunch of people would have been issued letters. So
Yesterday we heard that there were 7 REOs that were sent home. They were fired yesterday.
and if the REOs are part of the political establishment, when I come in, I want to put my own people.
Yeah.
And these are things that is it really supposed to be? I'm not sure. We need to start looking at it. I'm not too familiar with how it goes, but we need to have conversation about that. But over to you, Danielle. We need
All
to
right,
go.
we're going to head back to the lines. Caller, good afternoon. This is Wake Up Guyana. You're on air. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You're on air.
I must compliment you for, earlier that you was trying to get to the utility company to see the service that meeting out to the people. That's a good thing. That is a very good thing. Service is what the people need. The government could talk about building bridge and roads and schools, and they got to provide service. If you go to the hospital, you could build a beautiful hospital, big, and get all the equipment. But if you don't have the service to give the people, it doesn't make sense.
I agree with you, and I fully agree. And hence, we got to put everybody to the test. We got to ensure that they understand that this is not something that we're willing to tolerate going forward. We're very serious about this country, and we are going to shame you. We are going to name and shame you. This morning, I was driving this midday rather, coming along these bank there. We have 4 overhead passes. You want to ask me how much persons were and then walking across the road? And how many people I saw not using them?
Mm-hmm.
These are the things. We have elevators. We have 8 elevators sitting there. Is it 5 overhead pass or 4? I lost count, man.
4. I think it's 4.
4. And we have 8 elevators. Guess which one of them working? I'm just putting it. It's a rhetorical question. But thank you very much. I hear your point there, sir.
No, what I want to say quickly, service is not something we got to wait and come in from a ship from somewhere. Service is something can be meted out to the people immediately. I was looking at a video where a woman went to Sparnam police station. The police sit down there, and the woman was making an allegation for whatever reason, and they're saying that they can't take the report. That they can't take the report because the woman doesn't have on a face mask. You
Oh,
could
thank
imagine
you
this?
for that. Thank you for that. I saw that thing and I was extremely shocked. And I think if the commander or the commissioner of police don't send those two police officers home and discipline them, I'm not sure where we're going to start. But somebody should have. I mean, if you're standing there by the door and you don't have a mask, but you just ran out to your home. I'm going to discuss it though, but I thank you for
Yeah.
reminding us.
If the woman was robbing, somebody was trying to kill she. You're telling the woman she got to go back there for somebody to kill she, but she must get a mask to come back in the station. What kind of thing is this?
No, they need to be sent home. There's no bones about that. They need to send those two persons home to those two officers. And imagine, I saw the video. The lady that is sitting at the desk, the police lady, took out her phone, and the light was on and videoing the woman while she's talking.
If she could have taken the woman, report as the woman, they allow the woman to talk for about 10 minutes. And at the same time, when the woman keep begging for take the report, the same voice the woman could have used and tell them what is happening. They could have right from the same distance. The same distance they were sitting on, from between them to the woman, they could have made a note of what going on. Just telling the woman, they sit down like, I don't know them is who, and they just allowing the woman to go on, and the woman, they wouldn't take the report from the woman. I guess the woman left the station without even, they take any report from she, so she go back out there facing up whatever she had to face up with.
Yes, and I thank you for that, for reminding us about that, sir. I did see it and it did shock me.
Yeah, I think you're doing a wonderful job with trying to get these people to provide service to we. And one of the things I would like to say, particularly if the Minister of Security meted out to the people, because they got to come to the people to see if the people getting good service from the police and whichever ministry they are running and see. But when they come in, they can't come with the police and sit down with the police and let the people complain about the police because they're setting up the people to victimization.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you this. I know Robertson Ben, Minister Robertson Ben. I had to cover Ministry of Public Works when he was there. And if there was one man who was willing to take on the status quo, the structures that are in place, he was one of them, and he wasn't well liked because of that, because everybody get blows from him. I said it recently, and I'm going to say it again. I would not be surprised at 3 o'clock in the morning, Robertson Ben is at one of the stations or a couple of the stations making spot checks. He's the kind of person. He used to do it at the Public Works.
Okay, that's nice.
No, it is what is needed. That's all we need to keep you in check.
Yes, you must do your work. You was selected or elected to do the job, and you must do the job and make sure that the people is getting the service. Like I said, service is very important. Service is not something you got to wait for until COVID done, that you come in on a ship and you go heist it off the ship and then you can give service to the people. No. It's something you can immediately deal with and give the people service, because I was listening to you calling the utility company and you can't get through. Imagine. I want to tell you one more thing. I did the GPO, the employee contractors who going around to take off or disconnect people meter if they didn't pay the bill. And these guys will come around actually 4 o'clock when you can't even call nobody or query the bill just to punish you in a sense that they could get money out of you as a bribe. That, man, let me beg this man and see if I can give you something. Yes. And till tomorrow, and then they don't come during the day when you could call and make a query. Sometimes you get a bill in your hand, but they don't allow you. You don't have the time now for call and say, look, I went and paid the bill. I get a bill in my hand, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, all kind of things they do, right? All kind of nonsense they do. And this is not for all. They got some decent ones, but it is all part of the scam, all part of the ruse, everything that they could do to make some money. And that's why it aches me. I mean, some days my family tell me, what's wrong with you? I would stop and ask the policeman, is that the way that you would stand on the road? I do that because I can't see you offering a service to the people and you have that kind of posture. Or, I understand these are human beings, but we have to raise it. We have to start somewhere. And it starts with us. We have to.
Okay, thank you, man.
Thank you very much, my brother. Over to you, Danielle.
All right, good. So we've got a couple of persons that are, complaining about customer service, and they're talking about GT&T. They're saying, hey, it's been a couple of months. We don't have any access to our phone lines. The internet is down, and it's very costly to maintain a data plan. And they would have mentioned that they tried calling GT&T for a number of weeks, and they have not received any word. Nobody's picking up the lines. what is going on with these all of these companies? Why aren't they answering their phones? I mean, you're promoting your business, you're promoting your numbers, and so on. Give us a call. We're gonna address your issues and your matters. And then when people do actually encounter difficulties, you're not answering your phones. So this is something that we have to look into. And on the same note of public servants, we shouldn't have to be begging public servants to provide us with a service. We should not have to be begging people to be nice to us when we go to their office. We understand that, yes, you're human and you're going to have off days. I know you're going to have an off day. I'm going to have an off day. It's natural for us to have off days. But, the service should not have to feel, or the people that you are serving should not have to feel if you're having an off day or feel the blunt of that. So I think we need to improve upon our public service in all the offices across the country, not just public offices, but private offices as well. All right, we're going to head into another call. We've got some messages coming through. Caller, good afternoon.
Hi, is this Kaieteur Radio?
Yes, it is.
Hi there. I tell you, I'm surprised that I got through today because I've been trying since election watch, day and night. Anyway, talking about customer service, a couple of weeks ago I heard somebody saying what they should do, put cameras outside of these different ministries. I think they need cameras inside. I had an experience once, about a couple months ago. I went to the Ministry of Health to make a report. I went in there at 1 o'clock because I know these government offices you can't go lunchtime. So I went at 1. By the time I climbed up the steps, a woman sitting down, she put cock up on a bench, taking breeze and telling me, "You have to come back tomorrow." I said, "What?" Anyway, another one come out of a room. She said, "Okay, I can take your report." I sat down, giving her my report. I heard something grumbling between a desk. I waited to run because I thought some big rat or something coming out there. Next thing you know, is a woman. She had some cardboard or something. She's sleeping. So she just get up, pops her head up, get up, down to her desk, put back her hand to her head, and went back to sleep. Now,
this at the Ministry of Health on Brickdam there?
Right where is it, Brickdam? South Road by the market there, man. Where used to be the nursery school, the creche or something.
Yes, I think it was there.
Good. Now, I could understand some of them saying they ain't getting no big pay. Well, but if you go on to a job and the person tell you, "Well, I give you so much," and if you feel that is not enough, don't take it. Because it's inconvenience for me. You telling me I got to come back in the morning. You understand? And they're sleeping. These government offices don't work. So when they're saying that they put cameras outside, put cameras inside and see what the people doing. It's a lot of things, but I listen to your program all the time. Yes, everybody wants the new government to do wonders overnight. The people have to sit down, see where they have to work, they have to talk over. They just can't make magic happen overnight with no money. They got to give people a chance. It's just 2 weeks now. Then they expect all kind. They expect to get money. They expect to get this. They expect to get all kind of thing. And the previous government, they go and think about getting nothing. Mm-hmm. So I think, to be fair, you have to give these people a chance. Let it go around, look around, see where is more important. And think everybody wants something. I want something myself. Everybody wants something, but we just got to wait. We just can't. I mean, I ain't saying wait for 5 years, but at least give them 3 months. Let me see how they get themselves in order. They must talk to the different ministries. They must got to overlook and see how what's happening. You understand?
Yes, my dear.
They just can't rush into things, but there's a lot of things they got to pull up. for the ministries for one. I had different experience in ministries. Going to make different complaints or with one time if I have to go and collect any money because I had a little catering service and got to go and collect money, the guy was saying down waiting like if you begging to collect this check and you see they just gaffing and talking before they come to the counter and look at people.
The chewing gums and filing the nails too. I said that last week.
You understand? I think you understand where I'm coming at.
Yeah, I hear you.
Anyway, darling, stay good and do the good work.
Thank you, my dear. Do have a pleasant rest
And
of the day.
here, this thing, let me tell you this thing. I really, really miss y'all last night, man.
No, what yoga has done, because remember, we had to, yoga was such a blessing to Kaieteur Radio. When we had started, I just came up here a day for elections day, and I said, let me stick with it, try to give people, and that's how, and then I begged Yoke to come on, give us one too, like Freddie, and then Yoke said, why don't we do, a couple of things just to update until this thing is over. So this is how we structured it, and we went with it every day, and the guy took, and yoga is a wealth of knowledge, so I learned a lot. I sat most times listened to him, but he has his own things that he's doing.
I
but
know.
I'm gonna drag him in back every time that I can. I'm gonna beg him. I
Yeah.
spoke to him this morning. He's busy, but he's gonna be back this evening. Monday,
I know.
Wednesday,
See,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yes.
I don't think the thing in the Aga Gate church tonight.
No, I think on Monday, but I think this weekend, the Friday, we have a very big show. They have a surprise guest. I don't want to say it, but let Yoke say it. He's going to tell you guys.
So even with listening to y'all, all like this by Selwyn Peters.
Yes.
Well, I type in him and I follow him. I like him.
Yeah, he is bright. He's a guy that does not really look at the political party. He's
No,
gonna call a
that is
spade.
why I like him.
He's
Yeah.
going to call a spade a spade.
Right. And they got a couple of them that I following them from now. Because when, you ain't got nothing to do, you follow it. And let me tell you something. With this election, this 5 months, I really follow everything I could have listened to understand. You understand? So when people come in now to tell me any stupid, I say, look. Don't come to me with them. I look at all them programs. I hear, I listen. I could tell you. Because a lot of people is just going to say, some people, my friends, is come and say, they hear this, they hear that. So think it sounds right to you.
Yes, you have knowledge is power, That's the only way we could really develop ourselves. Let's read. Let us see what the other world is doing. Everything is there at the fingertips. So fortunate to have internet. Unfortunate, not everybody is fortunate. So that's something we got to work on.
Well, I got a friend, man. She come over and she tell me anything. I say, girl, you just there. You ain't listening, you're hearing, you're coming with nothing. So, anyway, let me take up any time. I'm so happy I got through today because I've been trying for the longest while.
I'm so happy too, because I think you're a gaff lady, and so you keep calling, my dear. And you know what? Before you go, I'm gonna blame the two guys in the studio. When could we have another line? The people who want to call, you guys gotta install another line. Could we do it? Could we do it this week? Yes, he says we can talk secret after the show. He doesn't want to talk with it on air. I don't know, but have a pleasant rest of the afternoon.
Okay, darling. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear.
All right, thanks so much for calling. Remember, the number to call is 226-7453, or give us a text on 6222222. Time check, it is 14 hours of 41. We're going to head into some messages now. We have a question. Should personal cell phones be banned from ministries and other government organs? I think this is a big issue. I know there are some government organizations and even some ministries that prohibits the use of cell phones during working hours. But of course, you find people still going around and they're on their phones and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, and then they're distracted and not providing customer service. We have some more complaints about GT&T. They're saying GT&T is telling us if we want to file a complaint, we have to wait 7 business days before we can get a response. However, if you're late one day on your bill, you automatically get disconnected. So they say, hey, it's not fair that that you're doing this to us. All right, we're gonna head back to the lines. Do we have a caller on the line? Caller, good afternoon. This is Wake Up Guyana.
Hi there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I listening to your program all the time. I'm trying. I haven't even got up to drink water because I won't get on. Now I have two problems. I heard you mention about the 10,000 cash grant.
Yeah.
Then they raised it from 10 to 50 on the campaign trail.
They did, yes.
And I am thinking, if a person has 6 or 7 children or 5 children, could you calculate that for me? I can't calculate.
That,
10 five.
that's if it's 50,000, you're saying
Yes.
that 50,000 would be 250,000. Go
For
ahead.
what?
No, that's for 5 children.
Yes. Now, on the same breath, it says free education from university to nursery. How, when you say free education, what, you don't have to pay for books, you don't have to pay for transportation, you don't have to pay for clothes. How it goes?
Well, that's some very good questions here, and I think as we go forward, because you know, I think the old people would say nothing is free. That is always a price attached.
Everything.
I think what you're really saying is it going to be that the school is free, but you still have to buy a book, because the reality is that. I think many parents are still saddled with buying books for the kids because the school doesn't have it. And we would have to ask those questions, what does it really mean? What I could tell you
Uh-huh.
is what my boss would tell me or tell the staff every single day. If we could get our oil deal right and we start doing the right things with our natural resources, you don't
Uh-huh.
have to bother. You don't have to bother with buying books or free
That
education.
sounds good.
No, but you know, in the Middle East, I think is it Saudi Arabia or one of those places,
Mm-hmm.
they the people get a check in the hand every single year or ever so often, and this is coming from the state.
Okay.
Those people, you can go there and you can get a passport to say that you want to go live there after you would have been living there for a couple more, and that's because
Okay.
they protect their own. So we could start thinking differently.
Okay.
I'm not,
Another
yeah.
thing is that this cash grant will be given only for children who go into public school or children in general who go into school, whether private or public.
Well, good question. What do we know so far,
They are
Denali?
looking to include the private schools as well. Parents would have reached out to the ministry, so they are considering it, and there is a possibility that it will be extended to students that are going to private schools as well.
Okay. Now, another thing, I have made a report. I have a breakage to Guyba. I make a report about 3 to 4 weeks back. They give me reference number and blah, which I take nearly a month to get onto them. When I do get onto them and make the report, the water main break on the road next to me. And when the water cut off, all the sand and the dirty water sucking back into the main. So when you turn on your tap now when the water come, it's the dirty water and the sand and everything contaminate the whole line, and that's what you have to pay it for because I have meter. Everybody have meter.
Hmm.
And you're paying for that water. I've been calling, today's Wednesday, I've been calling since Friday. I know they don't work Saturday and Sunday. Monday, I'm just how I sit on the phone, get you, just I'm trying to get Guyana to let them know this water is wasting. Wasting, and then the dirty water getting back. Bachelor's Adventures worse. You can't, who in the phone maybe have the hook or ring out or out of service or something. Never get to speak to nobody. Speak to Vincent Gerard. They said, okay, Mom, we'll look into it. It's about 3 months since water wasting here. Nobody see or remember. Trying to get, do I have to pay a transportation money to go personally to this place to make that kind of report?
Well, here are what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to try to get a GWI PR lady here. I think, let me see, 6910718. And you could call there. I think you know what we're going to do, Dinelli? Let's give out all the the PROs, the public relations officer of the different utility companies.
When you call them, the secretary tell you, I'm going
No,
to
no, no,
take
no.
next.
Listen to me. This is the actual people with the personal sales. We need to do that because that's the only way we can get this. If you don't want to walk, left the walk. You need to answer the people. You need to provide the services.
I can understand if I got a reference number, which means this business supposed to be in the system.
Mm-hmm.
So when you, whichever department, and you check your day's work or the schedule, you would have seen Tom Jones make a report at some help pack wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask for your phone number too.
Yes, I thank you very much for that. So you continue calling them, but call if you want to, girl. I think the number is 691-0718.
691
0718. I think that's the number that I have.
718.
Yes.
And her name is?
Liana.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think that's what we're going to do because I think the fact that thank you very much, dear caller. The only way we could do this is start waking up some people, and all these guys are my friends. They're going to stop talking to me after today, but it is what it is. I have my job to do, and the people of Guyana expect no other thing except doing our job. And Raj and Kevin, you guys better fix that phone line and don't talk to me with any secrets afterwards. I think they have the message right there. Over to you, my dear.
All right, we've got a couple of persons complaining about NIS and their appeals. They're saying that, hey, we've been going to NIS for a couple of years, and particularly since 2018, and we're not getting looked at. They're telling us to come back. They're telling us, hey, we don't have any records for you. So it's a whole lot of issues that are affecting people out there in the public sector, in the public offices. Something to note that, unlike the United States of America, our systems here in Guyana, it's paper-based. Now, I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying that because it's paper-based, you can't get the service that you required. You are expected, or rather, it is necessary that you get top quality service from the people here in your country. But again, it is going to take some time because of it being a paper-based service. Everything is paper when you go in. So if you want to go in and you lodge your complaint since 2017 and it's 2020, it is going to take some time. All right. So with that being said, we're going to head back to the line. So we have another caller on the line. Caller, good afternoon. This is Wake Up Guyana.
Good afternoon, Ms. Danielle and Mr. Leonard.
Hi
How are you
there.
doing, sir?
Okay, sir. I have two complaints. One of them is that there was some scholarship given out to people going to University of Guyana, some from GTU. And they're approved and everything, and the students are in class. The problem is that this new term, last term is finished, the new term coming up, and somebody didn't go and collect the check from Ministry of Education from the bursary, and the persons, when you don't pay, you can't see your grades, you can't see if you got to improve and everything. When you do investigate it, if somebody got to go and pick up the check and they ain't going and picking it up. And so the persons don't know how well they did and how well they didn't do it. They got to redo a class because you can't see your grade unless you pay. But nobody's going to look at this. Call GTU, they said they're going to look into it. When you call them back, they ain't answering. You go to ministry, they said somebody got a complete check. You go to bursary, they said they're going for it, and nobody ain't going. A new term starting, and a number of students cannot even see the grade to know how well they did the last time. Secondly, a person said yesterday about the contracts and these foreign workers. I have no problem. I like people from all over the world.
Yes.
Insecurity that I am in. We got the Haitians, we got the Nigerians. These people is work 36 hours. When payday come, they don't even ask to pay. So the bosses like them. They do all kinds of things to the clients other than what security is supposed to do. So when the time comes around, guess who gets in the work over the Guyanese? These people who these security services can railroad, who the clients can railroad, and the Guyanese get sidelined. So when it comes to me liking all of these people and loving them, and I'm glad they come to Guyana, at some point in time, they got to also understand that people can't be treated like that in our own country. And I am hearing that it's happening in the oil sector. The rights for the foreign workers of the oil sector is more than the rights of the Guyanese workers. And I agree, everybody said this is a new government and everything, but guess what? When I take a job, I don't get holiday. I have to hit the ground running. So being on no honeymoon. These things have to be fixed in this country. Thank you very much, sir, ma'am.
Thank you very much, dear. And this is something charity begins at home, and I have always said it. We have to start protecting what is our own. We have to insist that the systems work, and this is why the issue of local content when it comes to what is our local companies, our local workers, how much should they benefit from this bonus that we have with the oil? It is a bonus, and we have to use it and we have to utilize it in a way that is going to not only benefit us but our grandchildren and the grandchildren and great great grand. Let us use it in a, I think there's a big word now, sustainable manner that is going to last us for a very long time. How long oil is going to be around and the uses of it. We have to ensure that we don't see a couple of people benefit or getting all the contracts and everything. Our locals, they have to benefit. And so while everybody is welcome, you're going to start at home. Let's start looking after here, making sure that we protect it. Over to you, Danielle.
All right, we just got some news that President Ali would have just held a press conference where he announced that the new Foreign Affairs Minister has tested positive for COVID-19.
This is Hugh Todd?
Yes, yes. The
my.
president would have just revealed this in a press conference. We're going to get more details a little bit later on. Now, remember, folks, COVID-19, despite the many precautions that people have been taking, it still has been infecting people. Just the other day, we would have had contact, or we would have heard from a doctor in Latham. Now, he would have tested positive for the virus, and he said, hey, we would have taken all the necessary precautions, but he's still advising people that despite what you think might be happening, you still have to do your part. You still have to practice social distancing. Stay in your homes. Wear your mask. Protect yourself. Stay 6 feet apart. All right, because it can happen to anybody, and we have to take the necessary precautions. But in terms of that, we will get an update in a few moments.
Well, before you go there,
Yeah.
that is extremely worrisome.
It
Let me tell you
is.
why.
It is.
They had cabinet very late last week. We're not sure at what point in time Minister Todd would have picked that up. He would have met. He would have met with the U.S. ambassador, a couple of others. He had some key meetings. So this is extremely worrisome. While they were seen in photographs that were issued, wearing masks and things like that, it's driven home the point very hard.
Yeah.
That this is something that could really strike you at the doorsteps. And there, I think all the cabinet now.
They might have to be tested.
I was at Culture Center this weekend on Saturday, and I was a little alarmed that and we gotta call it as it is, huh?
Yeah.
I was a little alarmed that they allowed so many people there. There was a lot of people even milling around in the lobby area. People were taking pictures, and so we have to be very careful that this is not something. I think the whole cabinet would have to be tested now. They'd have to fumigate that entire cabinet room.
Yes.
I think the president in himself would have to take a test right now because he needs to protect his family.
Yeah.
He needs to protect his workers and everybody within maybe in the president's office, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs there, even the ambassadors there. So this thing here, it's a spin-off. It has some damning ripple effects and implications. So we are going to continue to follow the story.
All right, in the meantime, we're going to head back to the lines. Caller, you're on there. This is Wake Up Guyana. Could you speak up a bit, please?
Hello?
Hi there, yeah.
Kaieteur News?
Yes, this is.
Okay, Mr. Gildarie.
Yes, it is. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead. That's a long time to get through.
Yes.
I'm talking about this NIS thing. This, we had last year, public servants got increased from last year, January to December. NIS people got their increase from this January. And there was an article written in the papers before election and so. That was Fabric News. That why NIS is doing this thing. That there's a fraud. Why couldn't the pensions get their money from since last year? Why they do it for this year only? And the public servants got their one from last year, January. So I don't know. I'd call in for a program already on the TV. I heard back nothing. So I don't know if you have anybody to look into this. I don't know if you could, get a contact with the NIS people and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of pensioners talking about this thing, but nobody can put a foot to who they must go and talk to.
Let us bring, you're right. Let us bring the PR person from NIS onto the show. Let us
Yes.
call them and let's bring them on. And maybe we could do a call in and people could ask the NIS official some of these questions. Could we do that, sir? Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, no problem, but
We have your
sometimes
number right now.
sometimes I might get through with you.
Right, right. So what we're gonna do, we are gonna bring the lady on board. If you guys maybe could send us some questions here.
Yeah.
There's so many things we learning to fine tune this show right now. It is not where I want it to be. There's so many things that we gotta do to really make it the people's show. So many questions that we gotta ask. So many issues that people have.
Yeah.
It's gonna take an uphill task to really
You
answer
see, I'm
all of
glad
them.
that this government is going after, because I called in some programs and I haven't got no answer from nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, I'm trying to get a call from this government now and see what's going to happen. Because I don't know why they're doing pensioners that. Public service got the increase from since last year, January to December.
Uh-huh.
And we only got from this January.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But there was asking the people that someone wrote and asked why NIS doing this. This is a fraud.
Uh-huh. Well, let us see. They have some big issues there at NIS that they would have to fix. There's a fallen number of contributors, but the expenses in terms of benefits that they pay out is rising. While they have money right now on the long term, they have some big issues.
Yeah, but there's plenty of us talking about it, but we have no one to go to.
Right, right, right. And I know for the normal man in the street, they want it fixed and fixed as early as possible.
Exactly.
But you're right. What we're going to do is bring the PR person there on this show here and let us see if we can answer some of the questions because they have to do a little better. We have to do a little better in terms of what we offer. And as we get done, because you know what? The reality is that a lot of persons, poor persons, don't have a voice out there.
Exactly.
They don't have anybody that they could talk to. Even when you try talking like that lady there. That thing hurt me so much that you walk into a station running from a domestic affair. The police says, I can't talk to you unless you wear a mask. And I mean, what you telling the person? The lady lift up her blouse as if to cover. You want me to cover my face, and you see in her undergarments and everything. This is extremely shocking, and it is unacceptable, totally unacceptable. But I hear you, my brother.
That CPL number you call, 226-2600.
Yes.
When you call that number, I call that number steady to get my bill. They got the computer command is customer service. They give you a number, or operations. They give you a number, and you got to wait for those people to answer. It's not just you getting through right away. I do call them plenty of times, but you have to wait till somebody answers the phone. So they ask you press 1 or press 2. They give a customer service number or operation.
All right, here what I want you to do for me. Yeah. The GM is a very good woman because at least I've seen some actions from her in a couple of cases. You call for the general manager's office and tell them that you want to speak to the secretary and tell them that you've spoken to Gildarie from Kaieteur News and ask them to look into the matter for you. Could you do that?
You mean the NIS?
Yes.
Do you call breakdown?
Yeah, the breakdown office, the general manager's office.
Okay.
And you could use our name there, but we are going to bring them.
Okay.
Thank you very much, dear sir.
Right.
All right, just an update on the press release that our president just had. Again, the Guyana Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd has tested positive for the novel coronavirus. The president, in a live broadcast, said that the minister would have informed him that he came into contact with somebody who tested positive for the virus. So he was tested and his test results came back. Now, all of the persons who would have came into contact with the minister will be contacted to facilitate testing. The president also would have mentioned that all cabinet members are to be tested as a precautionary measure, and they are advised to work from home until their test results are known. All right. Again, the president also advised the general public to adhere to the measures set in place to protect them from the virus.
Now, this is extremely worrying,
Yeah.
and it is sought to drive home the point that it could attack anybody. It could be anybody, whether you're the president, whether you're a minister, anybody is thinking. So
Yeah.
what the minister thought is saying very, very clearly, he came into contact with
Yes.
somebody who was
Yeah.
positive, and that person, when he tested, he's positive too. So the ministers here, they are going to be working from home. Let us continue to follow this situation, because if this is not a clarion call for the government to take very seriously, and we would have had 2 nights back right here in room 592, Minister Frank Anthony, the Minister of Public Health, saying very, very clearly that he's unhappy with gatherings, our attitude
Yeah.
towards how we treated COVID-19.
Yeah.
This is not something that is going to go away for a little while. Here you have a minister testing positive now. Ministers are being instructed to work from home. So we are going to continue to follow the situation and, of course, report it in Kaieteur News. And I want to say good day to Mr. Lal, our publisher. He's visited us here in Kaieteur Radio. Good day, sir. How are you doing?
Very good, fine.
He's very, very good. So in the meantime, let's go back to our callers.
Yeah. Caller, you're on there. This is Wake Up Guyana. Good afternoon.
A pleasant good afternoon to you, Danielle and Leonard.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that our Foreign Affairs Minister has been tested positive with the COVID-19.
Yes.
I do hope that he pulls through as fast as possible, a young, vibrant man. And also those all who got in contact with him, they get tested and, everything comes on okay. I must congratulate you guys on your crusade in dealing with some of these sectors and their attitude and behavior. Because I strongly believe that all these sectors need a workshop with hospitality and customer service. Every single one of them. I have a few encounters with nearly all of them. GPL, Guyana Water Company, NIS most recently, like about a week ago. And for me, I personally, even the police force, I personally believe that all of them carry a same trend, a similarity in their behavior, their attitude towards whatever service they have to provide to the public. And I strongly believe that this has to be because of the previous government attitude and behavior towards the nation, because they have a don't care attitude, right? And I truly believe that a workshop needs to be done in every single one of these sectors with hospitality and customer service that they're providing, right? It needs to be done, because you see, when you have to go to these agencies to conduct something, it's like, you got to push and pull talk factor, like, I want to go, man, like, I'm not going to get through, man, better don't go nowhere. You don't feel positive that, you're going to get something done, right? So this is very good you guys doing, right? And don't announce who you're calling, just pick up the phone and call.
Now we can be doing it every day, and we can continue the cycle. In fact, everything we're going to put it to test, whether you say you're doing engagements with the public via social media, so everything is going to be put to the test.
And let me tell you, don't underestimate the magnitude of the extent of these people behavior, because let me tell you, it is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And in terms of the issue with the cell phones in the sectors, I strongly recommended that they shouldn't have their personal cell phones. Every one of these agencies they have phones in there. And I think that you don't need your cellular phone in there, right? Because what do you think you're going to use your cellular phone? Facebook, WhatsApp, communicate, chat with friends. You're going there to do a job from 8 to 4, whatever is the timeline. If you have an emergency, you got a phone right in there. Your family could get in contact with you and let you know, well, okay, you got an emergency, whatever the case may be. Because, look, even in the hospitals, you see in the emergency sections, in the hospital, when you go in the emergency section, they got the tier 1 nurse, the tier 2 nurse. Those people that's got their phones and them on their Facebook. And you know what some of them does do to Leonard? You're not going to believe me. You see, when you go to some of these doctors, or you go to the emergency hospital and you give them your name, you know what people just do? They just go on Facebook, type in your name, and see what is your business. You understand?
Imagine that.
That is why some people don't get proper medical care or treatment because of them kind of things. Majority of these agencies, right? I see these things. I hear people talk about this thing. When you go up and you go and give your name, people just go on the car now, go and type in your name in Facebook and see who is you, what is your business, or what is that. And next thing you know, you get a very unwelcome treatment. So a lot of things, there's a lot of issues in society right now in all these sectors, in our ministry, and this new government they got a whole load of work, right? They got to investigate, reassess. They got to check all the personnel that they got to work with. There's a lot of things got to do before you get a full functioning, comfortable operation. So it's not an easy thing. I mean, some people excited and getting ecstatic that okay. You campaign on this, that you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Oh, come on, the people haven't even done it properly yet. We got an issue with COVID. You think you can go and get a 100% operation kick start already with this kind of COVID issue that we got going on? People got the ministers, and they have to assess everything. And most obviously, when you get a ministry, you're going to want some people that loyal to you, that you know that you could depend on. You're not going to want to go in a ministry that people that are already working in there, and you're going to expect 100% service loyalty to you. You got to get some of your soldiers there with you that you know that you could depend on, got your back. Correct?
Right.
Right. So there's a lot of things that needs to be addressed. But let me congratulate you guys again regarding that, your agenda regarding these issues. I think you already should be your own government.
No, you can't.
I love the way how you guys address a lot of issues affecting society.
No, we don't have all the answers. What we're going to do, we're going to fine-tune, and of course we're going to be listening to you guys. You guys, you're the bosses right now. We're just facilitating, and let us see how it goes from here. But what we want is a better Guyana. That's all we want. It's a better
well, we
Guyana.
got to work on it, and also we have to bring the issues that affect our nation and our society in open air so people can know and people can hear, and also those who are responsible for correcting it and dealing with it, they can know and hear it from the people.
I hear you. I thank you very much, dear caller. Have a pleasant rest of the day.
You too.
Thank you. So, what I like, Danielle, the people that who are coming through, these are bread and butter issues.
Yeah.
These are everyday. Imagine, what is shocking? You go to another place. Those who are fortunate to travel to another country. Have you ever traveled out to this country?
I have.
And you go. We even just going across to the border from here to Suriname into the Nigeria area, or you go to Boa Vista over in Brazil, and on any other place, and you see how systems work, how people go to work, and you got to go, whether it's you in the sanitation department of the city, and you got to go pick up your stuff every morning, 4 o'clock you got to leave home and get it done. By 6 o'clock you're off the road. I see people picking up, well, I won't say pick up garbage. I don't want to say that. We see our sanitation workers working anytime during the day. You're holding up traffic. Last night I see in the middle of the road, they block off the entire road so they could paint it. I mean, this was after 8. I think these things should be done a little maybe later, because the traffic, we don't have the roads right now. You can't block off an entire road to be able to do this. But it is the way that we think, how we approach the entire work. Let us start thinking, instead of you doing repairs during the day, why not in the night?
Or very, very early in the morning.
We need to do things differently, because it has implications. Every time a car breaks down across the bridge, or on the bridge management needs to think, what could we do to get that car out there? Do we have a tow truck? Do we have stuff that could deal with this situation? So many other instances in different areas. Of course, the big thing is everybody's talking now, cell phones in public service workplace, or any other workplace. My friend Ajay Bash, how you doing? I know you work with yourself, but you should ban yourself from using the cell phone. And that's me kidding. A good day to you. But it is what it is. We have to start thinking differently, out of the box, and the job is not up to the government alone. The job, it starts with us. The change starts with you and me, the man in the mirror, as they would say.
All right. We've got a couple of persons texting in their concerns about COVID-19. We've got one particularly from my hometown, from Bartica. They're saying that things are very alarming in Bartica. Persons are not adhering to the curfew. They're getting on as if it's regatta. Have you ever been to regatta?
No.
Bartica. You've never been.
I saw pictures of it.
You should, at least when
No,
COVID-19 is over, you must visit Bartica for the Easter regatta.
Are you selling your hometown to me?
Of course.
Okay.
I'm going to sell Bartica.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they're saying that the situation up there is very alarming. Persons are not adhering to the national curfew. They're not, going according to the guidelines. And what we have been seeing is that Bartica is one of the regions in the country with the largest amount of COVID-19. I believe it was on Monday that the RHO would have announced that Bartica has over 135 cases, or rather the region has 135.
And the
region 7. Region 7.
The reason for that is that it's an area that is so large because of the mining.
Yes.
Everybody interact. There's nobody that's looking. So when nobody's looking, so you have the bars, the legal bars there. You have women in there, maybe coming from the other country across the borders. Nobody knows that they're there officially, except the people, and they're being facilitated by the police and ranks from the army and all kind of thing. You hear the stories. So what you have there is like a Wild West situation. Everything is happening, and because Bartica is a gateway, you could use Bartica to enter into the hinterlands of mining area, or you could use that to come out, jump on the Esquimalt River and out of there. So it is a gateway. It is a gateway to the hinterlands, and so you are going to find that. But it is worrisome, those number of cases per capita. It is not good. It doesn't spell good for this country.
Back when the ministry had, I believe, before COVID-19 had actually become so dominant in the country, when the ministry, I believe, when they had estimated that Guyana could probably have about 1,400 cases. Persons were saying, no way, that's not possible. We can't have 1,400 cases. But look at us today. We have over 600 cases, confirmed cases. Of course, these cases are not all active. Some persons would have recovered, but the numbers are continuing to climb. And this is happening because the testing capacity that we currently have. Now, the minister would have mentioned that the facility can facilitate 80 tests per day. And the Ministry of Public Health, they would have already procured an additional PCR testing machine, and they now are hoping to up that number to 300 tests per day. Now, if we have 300 tests done per day, then we will be able to assess the COVID-19 situation in the country a little bit better. And then the ministry and all the other stakeholders can then further address.
But they need to address the other issue, which is supermarkets are closed, but bars are open. So we need to change our attitude. By the way, somebody says there's sweetwater pacu in Bartica. What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
It's a fish.
It's a fish, yes. Pacu is a fish. From what I heard, it's a very, very tasty fish.
So there's not a lot of pacus in Bartica?
I'm not sure, I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
I'm just kidding. Pacu. I'm going to show you a picture of a pacu fish, and you probably... I think we're going to stop talking after that. But there's a caller online. Yes, caller. Good afternoon. You're here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
We're calling from Providence, man. We got a problem with Providence Station. We really need them to wake up.
What happened to them?
You could see somebody getting robbed. You call the station. Okay, we on the way. Never show up. Nice nuisance. It's crazy every night.
Where in Providence exactly?
It's a very small area from Princess to the stadium.
Right.
Going back the way, it's share big companies. This is the residential area, and we got the highest crime rate.
This is around by the Lombard area, the Lombard bar and so on, yes.
Yeah, this is the highest crime rate area in the whole property, the whole East Bank. You wouldn't believe what is going on here at night. You even can't stand up out by your gate. Somebody pull up and put a gun to you and rob your gun.
Wow. And you call them and said they come in and they're not coming?
Never show up. I telling you. They got a car park going into Massey Road every night. Street party.
Street party?
Yeah. And the party started from like about 7.
I got to check that out. I haven't gone to a party for a very long time.
You could believe this, Ali high car them music blasting, the food stand become a rum shop, illegal rum shop, and they said going till 11, 12 in the night.
And the police officers are not doing anything
And
about
the
this.
back street of Providence got must about 16 illegal rum shops too.
But hold on, right in Grove there, which is right next to Diamond where I'm living, there's a
Okay.
police station, and the police stand up on the road every day, stopping vehicles to check on them for the thing. And all around there, they got bars, and the bars are open. And guess what? They're not seeing it.
Imagine that. I tell you, you guys see what's going on at the back street of Providence. The legal bars in Providence, they close. 8 o'clock, even the Chinese and things, they close. The place is that deserted, but the back street got the action.
Right. I gotta
There's
go there.
all the motorbike and the motorbike gang and everything going on there. Every week in Providence, if you check Providence Station, got about 3 or 4 armed robbery. This little area. The Chinese get robbed opposite.
There's a commander. Commander Simon is there.
I think I heard the name already.
Call the commander. Say that you've spoken to us. He's a very engaging person. And tell him
Okay.
that you've spoken to us, and let's see where that goes. And we'd love to hear from you again.
Yeah, well, we was trying to form a group. I'm going to reach the commander.
I
or
think
the
you should.
chief
You
or
should.
something.
You should.
Well, as we got a new minister now, somebody's thinking about going to he. Because he's a man on play. I know he from long.
Okay, thank you very much, Zir, and a good day to all Providence.
All right, good.
Alright.
You guys have a good day too.
You too, sir.
Okay, bye.
Okay, and so this, the conversation has shifted from NIS now to fish. I told you about Paco. Now people start talking about
I have a couple of persons
mudfish
here.
here. Now the John Finance Wharf as a street as a small boy, and this is coming from Terry Bihari. And a good day to Terry Bihari, Aaron, JJ, Sam Basio, I think Basio, yes, Rampasad Bella. Thank you guys for joining us here today, Omar, Dion Ryan. A good day to you folks here.
We also want to say good afternoon to our friends that are tuning in from Canada. We have quite a number of them.
Yes.
Good afternoon to you guys, and thanks so much for joining us. This afternoon. We have persons tuning in Region 1, all over the country. Rather, I can't even begin to call them. All the regions, we have persons tuning in to our program this afternoon, and they are, texting us with some of their concerns. We're gonna head back to the lines now. Caller, good afternoon. This is Wake Up Guyana. Good afternoon, caller. You're on air.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi there.
I want to make a complaint, but the same station here, Sophia Station.
Sophia Station. Could you lower your volume on the radio, please?
Okay,
very
hold
quickly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yes, Mr. Gildarie and Danielle Singh. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Sir, I am in a wheelchair, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm close from the waist down. My mom is 77 years. The two of we have a property. We live in Cummings Lodge area here.
Uh-huh.
And I had a guy living next year to me. He living there up now, and he bring a guy from some deportee. And these two guys drink rum every night. And he bring course me and my mom every day course. I don't know the guy I ever see. He's only a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we went several times to Sophia Station and made reports, right?
Mm-hmm.
I met the sergeant there, all, right? And they said, tell you when the guy in the act, tape it. I tape it on my phone and carry it there and give them, right? Nothing doing. They said, call them and the man cousin. You call them? They said, they're coming just now. They're coming just now. They're coming just now. They never reach. They came once or twice. They came, and when they came, the man get away and hide. And they can't find the man. They never came back. And the man continued doing things. Till one night, the man jumped my fence, came up my front step. Remember, my mother's old woman, my mother just came back from Canada on a holiday there. And my mother started to tremble, brother. And I in the house here, and I creep like I walk. But I good, I mobile still, right? And this thing was real devastating to my mom. I tell she, Mom,
I
look,
can imagine. Oh, man.
right? I tell she, Mom, you book your flight and go back to Canada. Left me.
Uh-huh.
I got deal with the matter. She said, no, I know you're going to buy a gun and kill one of them. But that's the things these people are putting you for doing in this country. The police them ain't doing anything. Nothing. Absolutely not. I went to Sophia Station, I take a taxi and went there. Right? My mom went there twice too. Right? And my mom is 77, she'll be 78 soon. And that is what you're getting in this country. Nothing people doing. You just left at the mercy. Right?
Well, I think you've raised a point there, and this is what we got to continue. Better must come, and we have to demand better.
Yeah, but who you want the man is better
No,
from?
no. We have to start within ourselves. We're no longer going to tolerate this. We got to make it very clear to ourselves, and it's going to start. It's going to change. So I'm very, very confident.
Mr. Gildarie, let me tell you something. When you go to Sophia Station there, that place like a cowboy place.
We got to call it. All right. Let me don't say it. We don't want to give some heads up. But thank you very much. We're going to do what
You're
we
welcome.
have to do. God in heaven.
Bye-bye.
God in heaven knows what is going to be happening in a few weeks. I'm going to be calling Kevin on his phone to see whether he's at work. So I put your notices there, right? All right. But I want to say thank you very much for joining us this afternoon on Wake Up Guyana. We're waking you guys up so you could start calling on yourselves, calling on the neighbors. Let us do better. Start within the community. Let's start helping each other out. Let us start living life a little better, to demand a little more from our government, to ensure that our government delivers. We have to help them. You can't depend on everybody that's within government and say it's a government job. It starts with you. Do not throw garbage on the road. Wear your mask. There's so many things that we can do on our own. Let us plant our little gardens. Let us share the little that we have. If we can, let us make this world a little better place. So over to you, Danielle. I think we are coming on to wrap-up time. What we could tell you is that there was breaking news about a few moments back in which President Irfan Ali told reporters that one of his ministers, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd, would have been, he tested positive for COVID-19. He would have come in contact with somebody. And then the ministers are being told now to work from home. They are going to be tested there. And if you know that you would have come in contact with the minister, you should get yourself tested as well. We wish Mr. Todd all the best, and everybody else. Please take care. We need everybody hands on deck in this beautiful country of ours to make it into what it's supposed to be. We can't make it if you're going to have a very cavalier attitude in the way that we do things in this country. Let us protect ourselves. And you guys in the studio, you need to wear your mask all times. Do not go home, sleep with your mask on too, please. So there's a good advice of my boys. So thank you very much. I hand it over to Danielle and then back to myself as we wrap up. This has been a good day for us, hasn't it, Danielle?
It has.
I really enjoy people, very warm people
Yeah.
of Guyana. And guess what? They have a good sense of humor too. They're still talking about which fish is better. Is it Baltic fish or is it Maiconi fish? I don't know. That might be a conversation though.
Well, normally there's a competition. There's the heritage competition that would usually happen in September, and they have who can roast the best fish or make the best fish pepper pot or something of the sort. But unfortunately, this year that won't be happening. I know Kevin, for a fact, would have enjoyed that. Kevin, have you ever been to a heritage celebration? Yeah, and you enjoyed it, right? Good. Have you ever been to a heritage celebration?
I'm Guyanese. I go all the way. I go everywhere where there's food. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, so we won't know for a fact which fish is the best fish, but fish is healthy, regardless of how you eat it. With that being said, we want to say again, thanks so much to everybody for tuning in this afternoon. It has been a pleasure hearing from you. We know that we didn't get to go through all of your messages and we didn't get to facilitate all of your calls, but we still look forward to hearing from you tomorrow, same place, right here on Kaieteur Radio. Remember to take care of yourself, take care of your body. You only have one, and look out for others that are not looking out for themselves, and practice social distancing. Over to you, Gildarie.
Thank you very much. And so this evening, room 592, Dr. Yog Mahadio. I missed him yesterday. 3 days a week now, he is with us on the show. And I know that he is, myself and him, we working. And so we're going to be back in room 592. It's going to be interesting. So do not miss that show there, room 592, where we get into the truth, the real truth and nothing but the truth, the room 592. Thank you for being with us as we Wake Up Guyana on Kaieteur Radio here. Myself, Leonard Gildarie, and Danielle Singh. It's been a pleasure, and of course, our guys at the controls here. It's Raj and Kevin, and both of them have been told to sleep with a mask. So, a good day to all who have joined us right across Guyana and overseas, Canada, US, the Caribbean, our neighbors in Brazil and Suriname, and of course in Europe there. A good day to you folks, and keep on with us. It has always been a pleasure.
The thing that needs the most care in the world is the skin of your baby. New Predo Baby. The skin of your baby remains dry with the extra dry green layer of Predo Baby. It keeps the wetness away from your baby's skin with its high absorbance capacity. The flexible side bands of Predo Baby suits up completely the body of your baby. The textile exterior surface provides airflow and protects the skin of your baby day long. The cotton soft texture of Predo Baby gives peace to your baby. Predo Baby, the new diaper of the new generation.
Distributed in Guyana by Saria Manufacturing Inc.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara